everybody, my name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food, with Keto Under 20. Today it's definitely under 10. So I'm loving it, and I'm going to keep doing it. Well, I'm boring. Yeah, you know I am. And those of you that might be older people find boring is a nice, safe, consistent place to land. I'm in the Chop Wood Carry Water Club. I do the same thing day in and day out, and it works for me. And my recipe for consistency is track, weigh, measure, and tweak. And number 5, repeat the next day. And that works. And you guys all have your own recipes too if you've been around here for a while. I just kind of got fired up because somebody, and I deleted it, but they kind of fired me up, and then I said, no, I'm going to look at the positive side of it. They called me a boring twat. Yeah, I am. I love people that are like young, you know, because they think that they'll never be an old, boring twat. No, I'm not repeating war stories or even war stories of my drinking and overeating food days. I'm not. I'm just trying to motivate you guys, as well as myself, to keep going one more day at finding the formula that works for you, like what works for me, and to repeat it. And I am not telling you if you don't do it my way, you won't be successful. Most of my recipe has been gathered from listening to all of you. You know, this is my 3rd year of doing podcasts, so it's always funny when somebody comes on with a comment like that. It's like, okay, I'm boring, okay. I hope you're in your maintenance phase at 67, and I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I mean it still takes work, and if any of you have ever been on maintenance, no matter what weight loss program you've been on, you know that maintenance is the most slippery slope there is, and that it's not always, it's just not easy, you know. When you see somebody that has a lifetime Weight Watcher membership, you know they're doing the do, that their head is still plugged back in to when they first started, no matter what the food plan was at the time, and they have, morphed over the years and made it work to stay within their weight. And they get to weigh in, and they get other benefits too. But lifetime membership is the key, because it shows you that they're boring twats too. I mean, maybe that's the name of our club. Although, I think that the second word refers to a woman's parts. But so, and then somebody came on that I've never heard from, and she's a firecracker as far as I'm concerned. And she said that she had subbed to a young couple's videos and was at first liking it, but then they were using, everything was keto-fied, and, one of them's under 30, and I told her that I watched a lot of keto couples over the weekend, and of course they're young and they're hot and they're, lean and trim and everything else. Well, some of them never had weight to lose. They only changed their food program. And, and even the movie stars that we see, the celebrities that we see that do keto, they, they were fit and trim to begin with. So it's just a nice way of eating that will help with the aging process. Because a lot of us that are older, we learned that there is the standard American diet spread that's just gonna happen. You keep adding to your body all of the items that they consider food. I consider just only palatable, meaning that it's not going to poison you. It's going to poison you, but not in the sense that the government wouldn't allow it, right? Because the government is subsidizing it. But don't get me started on that. You can watch Scott the truck driver when he gets started. He's funny when he gets fired up. So, track, weigh, measure, tweak, and repeat. I mean, and yeah, I mean, you saw me with my flip out 1 pound gain That's because I was at the top of my 2-pound fluctuation that I allow. And yeah, it made me crazy. But, you know, I have to sit there and step back and say, I haven't had grains or sugar for, you know, getting close to 2.5 years. And I haven't had fruit, which was raspberries, which a lot of keto experts say is okay, that and blueberries and blackberries and strawberries, the berries family, for about 3 months because our little raspberry bush stopped making raspberries, or the birds got there before me. And so, and I'm not having diet soda, and I'm not having artificial sweeteners, so I knew that it would balance out. It was just something to see that the top number, okay, now you got to, you know, and of course the thing that went into my head at first, because I'm so well trained in what didn't work, is I'm going to starve myself, you know. I'm going to cut my calories in half, and I'm going to get rid of that pound. And it's like, no. Did I change anything in the next week? No, I didn't. And I dropped 0.5 on the scale with my weigh-in last Thursday. So I don't need to go crazy. I did a little bit. I mean, it upset me. It was that number. And, you know, I'm down to only weighing once a week from, you know, the bad habits. I mean, you know, if any of you have been as addicted to food as you are to your scale, or as addicted to your scale as you are to your food, you know how you've used that scale and almost abused yourself with it, right? So we're going to do sane keto, right? And we're going to find what works for each one of us. It's very individual. My go-to, what I allow, might be on somebody's never, ever in a million years. I OD'd on that. You know, like when somebody says they have one little square of dark chocolate. I couldn't go near it. 1 square of dark chocolate? No, this is 1 square of dark chocolate, right? For me. And so I used to have my little fat bommies. I had them three times a week, and I had to let those go. Why? Because they were turning into, I know that we don't have to count calories, but they were like 600 calories after the meal, and it still kept my head going with dessert, and I can't do dessert. But yesterday, you know, I had 2 new additions that I've been allowing on my maintenance plan, and that's 40 grams of cottage cheese and 1 tablespoon of Trader Joe's sunflower seed unsweetened spread. 1 tablespoon of that, yeah. So those 2 items I had at lunch with a little piece of leftover filet mignon and a cucumber. Cucumber hunk, like 3 ounces. And that was my lunch. And I can handle those things. I am not back into the jar with a spatula, you know, licking all around it and everything. No, I'm not doing that. And same with the cottage cheese. I'm not, you know, I can have that. It's weighed, it's measured, it's in a small, I put things in small dishes, small bowls with small utensils to eat with. And that's a trick I learned from Weight Watchers way back in the 70s that I carry over today. And that's how I do it. I know my podcasts aren't flashy and, you know, with all kinds of editing and all that kind of stuff. Do I wish I could do it? Of course I do, but I don't. So I calmly sit here in, you know, one of my, you know, dozen bathrobes and have my bulletproof coffee sometimes, and sometimes I don't. And I sit here and I just talk about the same old, the boring twat, same old. You betcha. Because if you're lucky, you'll be a boring twat at 67 too. I love that. And you know, I see it in my 12-step meeting too. The young and upcoming people in their 20s that, you know, get a couple of months strung together of no use and abuse of drugs. And, you know, they're looking around the room at all of us old people, you know, from 50 to almost 90 that show up there every day. I mean, one man has 47 years. 47 years. Another man has 51. I mean, it's incredible. And you know how they did it? They were boring too. They just did what they did each day. And they didn't get drunk, right? And so we do what we do each day, and the scales and our pants still fit the next day. And we can calm. The keto is so calming anyway, and it's such a mood stabilizer in my world. And so we can know that if there is a fluctuation in our weigh-in, and hopefully it's not 4 times a day, that, it's a fluctuation. That's all. Because we can look at yesterday or the day before or the week before or the month before on our tracker and in our head and say, no, I wasn't having keto-fied desserts, which who knows what they might do. I don't think that they're that hot to have all the time. It's the it's the faux standard American diet. But who knows? Because even gluten-free people have said that it's not necessarily, healthy, right? It's just an alternative. And so I have fathead pizza once a week. It's for sanity as well as delicious tasting, but it quells the craving for pizza, and it quells just that, FOMO, the fear of missing out on pizza, because FOMO is important, fear of missing out. And so I know that if I'm, crazy, I can look at yesterday's food and say, did I have grains? No. Did I have fruits? No. Did I have diet soda? No. Did I have sugar? No. Did I have sugar in the 58 different ways it can be put into foods or items that I might eat that are fooling me? Not fooling my system or my brain, because they're still lighting up things, but, fooling me because I don't know what that word is on the ingredient list. And it was like the 6th in line, so I figure it can't be that harmful. Well, I go for whole food. I buy things that have not been processed as much as possible. Of course, the sunflower seed spread has been. Of course, butter has been. Even Evu has been. But I'm talking other things that, mimic what got me here, what got me overweight, what got me absolutely insane with food, what got me totally addicted. And so now, doing keto for, I don't know, as long as I've been doing it, I've been doing the under 20 for almost a year. And I was doing keto low carb for 2 years before that. And so, yes, I find it works for me. I feel successful with it. I feel like I am boring because that's how it gets. Because I've stopped glorifying and all the things that I used to do and all the crazy head games with my food. I can't. See how crazy it makes me? So, I practice what I preach, and that's all I can do. You guys work on your formulas to come up, not you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, work on what works for you with your formulas for your success, and you will be one. Because if you're doing the same thing today that you did yesterday, that you did the day before that, and you've got consistency in your life, consistency and good habits are incredible. That's going to be what makes that metamorphosis of yourself just come out and be okay. Okay in social situations, okay with, in your close family, if something is brought into the house that, maybe early on you couldn't have resisted and you would have been eating it in the closet and then going out and replacing it the next day and putting it back on the shelf, and nobody was the wiser, thinking you got away with something. You didn't get away with something, and you know that. And today, you'd rather be boring. I'd rather be boring. And that's what I'm titling this. I'm boring. So, you guys have a wonderful... I said you guys again. I don't like that. Have a wonderful day. My pickles, my peeps, my keto community. And know that Sarah is just doing the do day in and day out. And when you tune into me, that's what you're hoping for. That's what you've come to expect, I believe. I don't think that you want me to come on and say, hey, look at what I just made. It's an 18-layer blah, 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 blah that I made with this fake sugar and that fake flour. And no, no. You know where to find them because you've probably stumbled on them because they're good and they're flashy with all of their stuff. I'm just me in a bathrobe. I'm just the old lady who's not living in a shoe. But anyway, I'm looking forward to doing another cottage video. It's coming along. It's really getting close. I'm going sconce shopping today. And Greg triggered me. He said, so you need some scones? I said, sconces. And you know what came to mind, right? Have a wonderful day. I love you. I need you. And I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.